There was never any like shame of like, you need to be eating real meals. It was, oh, you hit your goal for the day. That's great. I don't care how you hit it, just hit it. And that was really helpful for me because I feel like naturally people kind of go into that negative mindset of like, oh gosh, are they judging me? And I never really once felt that. So that was really helpful for me because that's a big thing for me is just like, I don't know, doing what I'm supposed to be doing in a way that works for me, but also in a way that, makes other people proud too. So like that was
All right, everybody. I have Michaela here with me. She has lost 23 pounds in our 16 weeks together. So she did absolutely amazing, lost a ton of inches. So I'm really excited to share her story. I know she was excited too because she was looking forward to helping more people. So Michaela, I'll ask you the first question and really just go from there is what did your health and fitness journey look like before working with Right to Fitness?
super inconsistent. It was there, but it was very hit or miss. It was, starving, trying to lose the pounds, extra cardio. Whenever it would happen, it was just very across the board, just inconsistent and not sustainable.
Have you previously tried anything else to achieve your goals? Why didn't these other programs or products work for you?
Well, I think that a lot of what I've tried in the past, like I said, is just not sustainable for like everyday life. Like, I'm sure it was really great if you could stick to it 7 days a week, but it was just not something that was going to be long term sustainable by any means. But I mean, I have tried, everything pretty much that you can think of. I've tried the stupid magic pills, I've tried the shakes, I've tried, intense cardio, um, cutting calories, keto, managing the carbs, like again, and it all boiled down to like just not being successful because it wasn't sustainable. So as soon as like real life happened or kicked in, it was like all down the drain. It was like very all or nothing, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, and that kind of is like goes with what was missing from those. So what you felt was missing was really just the sustainability of it. Like you couldn't do it long term. So that totally makes sense. Okay. How do you feel both physically and mentally, or how did you feel both physically and mentally before starting your transformation journey?
Um, just physically and mentally drained and exhausted and discouraged and just heavy. Like I don't even know. Like it wasn't necessarily a physical heavy as much as just like a mental heavy of not being healthy, not feeling energy, not just knowing that I wasn't where I should have been. Um, so yeah, that's changed a lot.
How do you feel now and how has your life changed since starting our program?
So my just like my mindset of like what like every time I put a meal in front of me now, I'm not saying it's 100% 24/7, but like I always have that now like stop and think of like, is that too many carbs? Do I have a veggie? Is this going to make me feel full versus, you know, an hour down the road, I'm going to be hungry again. Or, I'm going to be finding myself snacking on something that I really probably shouldn't be snacking on because I didn't get all of my like nutrition in that one meal. I'm very busy. So it's like a lot of times for me, I don't necessarily have time to add in those different meals. So I like to get what I need in one meal and then I'm good for the day or until my next meal. But that was probably the biggest thing for me is like not feeling that guilt whenever I do have a big plate of the right foods, or whenever I even just want a treat. Not everything is perfect all the time, but I don't feel as guilty when I have that treat because I know that the rest of my meals were pretty on point and I have the nutrients that I need and I know it's not going to lead into like a binge. So that was really really big for me.
Yeah, and I think also too something that I really appreciated about the way you would put together your meals was it was always like it wasn't always like a meal that you cooked for hours, right? It was oftentimes a lot of convenient foods, but you found a way to like still get what you needed in that meal and you just like moved on to the next meal. And I was like, yeah, that's perfect. It didn't have to be like anything really fancy, but it was, aligned with your goals, which I really appreciated. That's a good skill to have because you can't always spend hours in the kitchen or hours food prepping or whatever that looks like. So I appreciated that with your breakfast and lunches a lot of the time. What aspects of our coaching have you most enjoyed?
I think just the support and like kind of going off of what we just kind of talked about, like there was never any like shame of like you need to be eating real meals. It was, oh, you hit your goal for the day, that's great, I don't care how you hit it, just hit it. And that was really helpful for me because I feel like naturally people kind of go into that negative mindset of like, oh gosh, are they judging me? And I never really once felt that. So that was really helpful for me because that's a big thing for me, is just like, I don't know, doing what I'm supposed to be doing in a way that works for me, but also in a way that, makes other people proud too. So like that was big for me.
Yeah, I've heard that so many times, like just that vulnerability to like share basically like what you're eating all the time can be really hard. So I'm glad you felt that it was always support and not like judgment. That's really important to me. So I'm glad you felt that for sure. And the last question, what would you tell anyone who is thinking about working with Right to Fitness?
Do it. So I would tell them like, and I have told people like, I know that for a lot of people it's, oh, that's so, I can't believe you spent that much money. And I've actually got a lot of judgment from different ends of things like that. Like, oh, well, you know how to do it, why can't you just do it yourself? Those kinds of comments. But ultimately, I went, probably 5 years, and like I thought that I knew what I was doing. And, at the time, my boyfriend would help me lift, and it was great. But like, ultimately, at the end of the day, it wasn't working. It wasn't, I didn't know what I was doing. I was starving. I wasn't eating what I should have been eating. So like, even if you think that you're the expert, like you are not. So you don't know what you think you know, and just do it because it's definitely worth it to just feel better, to look better, and to overall have a better understanding of what you need to be to be the best version of yourself, because at the end of the day that's really all you have. So that's what I would tell somebody in a lot of words. It's just, you're worth it, do it, take the leap, and just do it, because the information that you're gaining from the program and the mindset that you're changing is never going to go away. It's always going to be there. That's never something that is just going to go away with the app, or that's never something that's just going to go away. If you go through a phase where you stop working out, you're still going to be mindful of your portions and mindful of what your body needs. And I think ultimately, like, that is the biggest thing that people don't necessarily realize, that you're not just paying for the workouts or the food, you're paying to really learn 16 weeks of like learning completely about yourself and what all you need to be successful.
I love that. That's a great answer. Did you really study these after when I sent them to you? Because that's a really good answer.
So I looked at them, to be fair.
Yeah. Well, yeah, no, that's such a good answer. And I think, just hearing, and a lot of people, they struggle for years, right? And you saying you struggle for 5 years, for you to have this figured out in 16 weeks and have the skills to like keep going. And I know in our time together, there was, obviously it's been summer. So like trying on swimsuits and feeling confident and just like feeling so much better. You got married and feeling confident going into your wedding day, like just feeling really good. And that really is priceless. So I'm glad that, you highlighted that and we're able to get from point A to point B that you've been trying to for so long in 16 weeks. I mean, that's short amount of time, really. All right. Well, anything else that we missed that you want to highlight? I think we hit most of it.
Yeah, I don't think so. That was
Okay.
pretty much, my experience was just good. And I would definitely, um, if I ever needed to do like an 8 week, get myself back on track, because I think everybody falls off at some point,
Mm-hmm.
like babies, whatever happens. But I think that even just a refresh would be super helpful. But I think that overall, I feel like I have what I need to be successful.